Oh man, I cannot believe that just happened.
Mark's construction timeline may have just gotten a little longer. I'm Kalyn Rothaus, and that's me and my first building project, and my first power lunch. For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to be a designer. And now here I am, creating functional and fabulous spaces. This is my client, Mark Alfieri, founder and chairman of Brandstar. And that's Carmen, his chief operating officer. They've asked me to take this building and turn it into a modern and efficient workspace. It's going to be a challenge, but in the end, the new space will be functional, and of course, it will most definitely be fabulous. Brandstar is a branded entertainment company that produces programming for network television. They've grown through the years from 8 employees at the start to over 145 today. Mark is moving 135 employees of the company from a 20,000 square foot space to a new building he's purchased, but the new building only has 11,000 square feet. The challenge Mark's given to me is to put the same number of people into a smaller workspace and make everyone comfortable and more productive. We are 3 weeks into our construction process. The building's been gutted to the shell, and we've started the build. We've made good progress on all the framing and drywall. All the windows and doors have been installed, so we have the building now sealed. In the new design, I've decided to utilize the existing concrete from the old building for all the high traffic and wet areas. So we've had Supercrete come in and treat and restore all the old concrete. I'm pleased with where we are, but still concerned with Mark's timeline, needing the renovation completed in 90 days. To do that, we need everything to run on time with no hitches, and that almost never happens in the construction business.
So everything is really starting to come together. I think once the flooring is installed, not only will I see more, but Mark and Carmen will start to get a better vision and sense of what the space will ultimately look like. It's still hard to imagine. There are no ceiling tiles in our drop-in grid. You know, there are some big parts and pieces missing. So I think once the flooring is laid down, they'll have a much better idea of where we're at in the project.
We've got the concrete restored in the high traffic zones. And now for the meeting rooms and office spaces, my design calls for luxury vinyl tile, what we call LVT, because it's really cleanable, really durable, and also has a beautiful finish. I've chosen Karndean design flooring because they've been in the flooring business for over 40 years now and are considered one of the leaders in LVT. I'll be working with John Jarvis of Karndean Design Flooring to install the floor. Before any flooring can be laid, however, I've asked Emil Mello to meet up with our site manager, Mark Furman, to measure and inspect the area, especially for any moisture content in the concrete floor. Here in South Florida, there's a good possibility that we're going to have moisture in the building's concrete slab. With the high water table in this area, and because concrete is very porous, moisture can seep up through the concrete and affect the new vinyl, causing it to buckle. To determine if this is going to be a factor, the Karndean Design Flooring technicians are inserting sensors that will measure the moisture content in the slab. And as we suspected, there's a high level of moisture in the concrete. So now, the Karndean Design Flooring installers will lay down a water barrier product called VersaShield. This will prevent water from seeping up through the concrete and affecting the glue that's used in laying the vinyl tile. This was an extra step, but it's going to help keep this flooring looking good for a long time.
They need moisture test. What are the other couple things?
That was really the only thing. The only other thing is to make, when we prep the floor, that it's clean, dry, and level.
Luxury vinyl tile was very good for the workspace because of the look and feel of the natural product. We've got many patterns and designs that mimic the real thing, so we're less susceptible to moisture, topical water, spills, scratches and dents and things that would easily damage the real thing, such as wood. It won't affect ours as much.
I've decided to go with this wood look in LVT, something that has a lot of grain and movement in the tile so that you don't see scratches and dirt. It was the exact coloration I was looking for, and it had enough movement in the pattern on the floor for it to be interesting in the herringbone pattern.
It's all in the prep work. So once the prep work is done, it's just a matter of spreading adhesive and placing the planks in, making sure that everything's tight and square.
Now, this is not an easy installation. It would be much easier to just lay this stuff down in a plank pattern.
The reason I chose a herringbone pattern is because it's installed at a 90-degree angle And so the way that our building is really laid out, it's these two intersecting rectangles. And what happens is, in one area, the herringbone is parallel to the wall. And because I kept the pattern floating through our main travel path, when you get to the main bullpen, it's actually at a 45. So it's interesting how the flooring plays with the shape of the building and the installation.
It's one thing to have your design vision all mapped out and ready on paper. It's quite another to share that vision when nothing has been built yet. That was my challenge in showing Mark, the building owner, and Carmen, the COO, what the end result of this office construction will look like.
I know it doesn't look like much now, but let me kind of give you an idea of where we are. So this is your reception area here.
It's always difficult with a drawing to imagine what a space will look like. It's important that Mark and Carmen have a good visualization of the space. A company called VIMtrek helped me solve that problem. VIMtrek is actually a state-of-the-art cutting-edge technology that allows you to create a virtual reality world in 3D animation. I shared with VIMtrek my plans and every specification that I used in the building, and we created a virtual model that's just like stepping into the real thing. Recently, I was privileged to present my design concept for our building renovation at Greenbuild.
Without further ado, I'll have Kalyn lead us.
Thank you. So hi, I'm Kalyn Rothaus.
It's the world's largest conference dedicated to green building. VIMtrek founder and president, Errol Wolford, told us more about the value of the VIMtrek model for contractors, suppliers, and building owners.
Because before VIMtrek, the architects weren't really able to share their information in an easy-to-use format like VIMtrek. So when we talk about VIMtrek, you got visual information model, and you get to trek around the building wherever you like. You could have the owner in Tokyo, the building in Miami, Florida, the subcontractors in Miami, Florida, the architect in Detroit, and now they're all simultaneously walking through the building together. That's breakthrough, and that's awesome collaboration.
Every screw, finish, framing, tile, furniture, and flooring can be put in this software. It's called BIM, Building Information Model, so you know exactly what supplies are needed for building before construction even begins.
$600 billion is what commercial construction is in the United States. Of that $600 billion, estimating the project, counting all the equipment, costs $60 billion. Doing all the design is $40 billion. So more money is spent in the United States counting and measuring things than actually design. That's a travesty. Now, with VIMtrek, we're not only able to walk around the building, have all the units, but we can count everything automatically as well.
VIMtrek, with the building information model, saves Mark time, money, and prevents construction waste, which is good for the environment. Plus, it also gives Mark and Carmen a great visualization of just what their building will look like.
This is actually our building, and I'm going to walk you through. So follow me.
Oh, wow. We're going to do a virtual tour.
Yes, so we're entering the reception area.
No way.
And we're going to make a left down this corridor. To your left are private offices. To your right are some unisex restrooms. And I'm taking you down toward the bullpen.
I feel like I'm in the building right now.
Wow, you even got the glass up and everything.
We do.
So Mark and Carmen are certainly excited about this new technology. But I'm excited on how we'll be using VIMtrek to get started on our next phase of construction. Next up, check out our Lacava vanities.
So today we have Lacava on the job site, and they are installing 2 pieces of bathroom furniture, one in the men's restroom and one in the women's restroom.
I'm working with JB, the regional sales manager from Lacava. Lacava is known for their custom-made vanities, mirrors, and LED lighting.
We import faucets, sinks from Italy, and we manufacture all the furniture in Chicago. We do everything from standard pieces to full custom projects.
I chose Lacava because they've just come out with a new line of bathroom furniture with beautiful finishes that are also ADA compliant.
When I first got the call from Kalyn, she was very excited about us offering a vanity that was able to fit an ADA application. And we were excited to show how an ADA bathroom in a public space can be made to look beautiful and stylish.
So I needed something custom made to fit the space, and I needed something beautiful to complement the rest of the finishes in the bathroom.
You know, we have a very talented staff of artisan woodworkers that are able to create all types of different custom designs, and it gives us a very tight control over quality and allows us to really make the pieces exactly how we want, rather than mass producing in a factory at a very high rate.
These vanities have integrated LED lighting, so we had to make sure we had power in the wall in the right location. That's important because you have to coordinate all these moving parts and pieces for when the vanities arrive to actually be installed. I'm now turning my attention to the interior walls and doors of this office building. And the challenge is bringing in natural light, providing an open space, and still allowing privacy for employees. I found the answer in glass partitions.
Collaboration and community workspaces is the mandate, but people also really need privacy. I've designed what I believe to be a fabulous glass partition that will provide an open community feel, but also give privacy at the same time. The glass is also designed to add a dramatic, decorative impression to the interiors. I've asked to meet with Edward Gaiman and Nino Pena from CARVART. They specialize in creative turnkey architectural glass products. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. I have a lot to show you and a lot to talk about.
Kalyn, it's really exciting to be here. Thank you for having us.
CARVART Glass is a true creative solutions company out of New York, and they have a lot of experience in taking design ideas and crafting them in glass.
So basically, my client had given me a challenge. I'm looking to put a gradient or some sort of diffused color, you know, something for privacy, so that when an employee is seated, they have the sense of privacy, like they're not in the fishbowl.
Gotcha.
And when they're standing and walking through the space, they have a little bit more visual.
I really loved her design just for the fact that it's very clean, it's very unique, it's very innovative. At the same time, it's she thought about the employees of the company.
I also wanted to bring in some color. I loved the glass bathroom cubicles from CARVART because of their clean, modern design. And I thought it would be a fun surprise for people to bring a bright color in to contrast the concrete walls in the bathroom.
So these are our restrooms here. So I have swing doors.
Yep. Have you thought about doing glass toilet cubicles? Because that's what we do.
You know, okay, tell me a little bit more.
So these are unique, you know, instead of having the typical stainless steel cubicles, we design and manufacture glass cubicles. What we can really do unique is the color. That's where you can really bring that creativity and use any Pantone color that you like.
Fantastic. So to put glass partitions is unexpected and also quite beautiful.
Exactly.
This area, we have the reception area, the bullpen, and we're gonna come to the offices here.
So I've seen the space. I've carefully listened to Kalyn. We're gonna really recommend the right system for her that's gonna help her solve all her issues.
I can hardly wait to see what CARVART is able to create with my design, and for their glass partitions to be delivered.
We've been waiting for this glass from CARVART for a very long time. It came all the way from New York. It came, and now it's broke.
We've been anxiously awaiting the arrival of our custom-made glass partitions from CARVART in New York, so we can get started installing the partitions. Well, the glass arrived, and our forklift began to unload the fragile cargo from the truck. But then, accidents happen. One entire pallet of glass collapsed and shattered.
This end is where it broke. Did it break this way first? No, it collapsed.
So now, we've lost 4 pieces of glass. We have our installers scheduled, and I need to get them working. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to get replacement glass. But as always, I'm worried about Mark's timeline. This, no doubt, will set us behind. So now the installation of the glass partitions gets underway, along the perimeter offices, bullpen area, and interior bathrooms. By design, the glass will separate the individual office spaces and conference room, but still bring the natural light in to the center core of the building, and a feeling of openness for communication.
What's also unique about our system is that there's a sleek line of extrusion at the top that runs throughout the entire space, so all the offices look uniform.
The CARVART glass will also provide that element of privacy for the employees when they're sitting in their office because of where I've placed the gradient on the glass.
Kalyn wanted both private and public space to be in the same spot. We achieved that by having our gradient go up from half the glass, so you get that private feel. And then above, while you're walking around throughout this entire space, you have that real open feel, natural light coming from all different directions.
I'm really happy with the outcome of the color that's been added to the glass to make the office environment more exciting. The conference room glass has a blue gradient, which makes this room really stand out, while the white gradient is uniform throughout the offices. The gradient is also a great safety feature so people don't walk into it. And yes, even the bathroom glass has its own color scheme. I've chosen a bright blue for the boys and a bright orange for the girls. It will definitely bring a nice contrast of materials to the bathroom. I'll be so excited to see the end result.
Now that everything is built and we've created everything, I really think we were able to do exactly what she wanted, and I think the final look is going to be fantastic.
So as JB and his crew unpack the custom-made vanities to begin installation, our site supervisor, Mark Furman, is also here to help them make last-minute adjustments, like finding the exact spot where the power outlet needs to be. Even the faucets have electronic sensors, so the power needs to be close by, but yet well hidden behind this piece of furniture. And adjustments are often needed to make sure everything fits just right.
The space was not done before we started production on the vanities, so we're going off the estimated dimensions that they give us based on the construction plans.
This is all custom work here, so you don't always know exactly where you need to feed in your electric. And you know, we had drawings for the plumbing, but the electric we didn't quite have. So we had to make a few adjustments, recess it in the wall, move the width where it needs to be.
It's always a concern when you're doing wall-to-wall installations on how things are going to fit, especially with a custom wall covering like this.
Looks good, nice fit.
Yep. Yeah, next we finish putting up the faucets. We will tie in all the electrical down there, get everything ready so that we can do the final hookup when the time comes, and then we'll hang the mirror, which also has lighting, so we'll configure all that as well. Oh, I think Kalyn's gonna love it. It's coming out exactly how she planned, and she'll be very happy with the final product, I'm sure.
So the actual vanities from Lacava are even more beautiful than I had seen online and in the catalog. The finish is a really contemporary finish, and I'm very pleased. They have some really beautiful details. There's an LED strip that lights the cabinet underneath, and then there are LED strips behind the mirror which will actually illuminate the wall. So I know that when the plumbing is connected and the electricity is on, it's gonna be really beautiful.
The last 2 weeks of construction have been hectic, but I'm seeing solid progress. We're at that point where things are starting to take shape. The floors are exactly what I had envisioned. The Karndean design flooring installers did a great job.
So for Kalyn, what we did is we lined up the herringbone pattern with the main the main line of sight through the main corridor here. So it gives a nice feel, and it kind of pulls you into the space.
And I think once we get all the furniture, these spaces are going to be fabulous. Speaking of fabulous, the CARVART glass is really going to give us exactly what we're looking for. We wanted to create an open, collaborative feel, and wow, did we get all that and more. The glass is just stunning through the facility. As I've said, I always like to bring a design element of surprise in the bathrooms. And I think the CARVART glass, along with the beautiful Lacava vanities and mirrors, are going to make this really special.
So when I saw the vanities installed, they exceeded my expectations. I'm very pleased with the finish and how it matches our decorative finish on the walls. It's really beautiful.
And now, a new chapter begins. It's time to light this place up. We're now turning our attention upwards to the ceilings. The grids are going in, along with our lighting. We have very sophisticated lighting with cutting-edge technology called daylight harvesting by Acuity. And this is only the beginning. This building is filled with new technology, and it's exciting integrating it all into my design.